The XREAL Airs aren't like any device I've ever used. They're one of the few items I have that will feel futuristic no matter how old they get because of the expectations set up by sci-fi movies. And a transparent floating display is basically one thing your set needs to feel confidently futuristic. And while we might not have flying cars or colonies on Mars, the XREAL Airs can give you a glimpse of what that future might have looked like. The XREAL Airs are a pair of sunglasses with micro OLED displays in the top that pass through some optics and make it look like there's a 100-inch movie theater screen in front of you. Black parts of the display appear transparent, keeping you in the physical world in a way that the Apple Vision Pro or Meta Quest 3 could never manage. And being a very light heads-up display, this is far more comfortable to just wear around compared to a full-fat VR headset. And since they look like a pair of sunglasses, they're rather innocuous. You can plug these glasses into your phone, laptop, or something called the XREAL Beam, and from there, a software launcher called Nebula takes over. It gives you a full augmented reality experience. However, this software launcher is far from optimal. There's not a lot of app support, and the app support that is there is rather janky. However, being by far the most popular augmented reality glasses on the market, XREAL has something going, bringing an ecosystem to these glasses. However, these glasses are primarily a portable monitor actually. You just plug these into any display output and it'll clone the display. However, do keep in mind that on laptops and phones, on the highest brightness setting, these can drain the battery quite quickly. The closest comparative experience I can describe it as is like having a projector screen. Because a projector really is just shining light onto a wall and relying on the dark spots to create darkness. If you're wearing these in a bright room, then even the shading of the sunglasses won't help very much and the contrast ratio goes down. However, you can put shades on to cover up the lenses and then you have a pitch black virtual OLED movie theater, which is pretty cool. But there is a problem here, because I don't prefer to wear these when watching movies. And that might be because I have a projector sitting right up there that can display movies onto my wall. But then again, why would I set all of that up when I can just put on the glasses and go? Well, it's because it's not quite the same experience. Sure, you have the screen, but what makes a movie theater experience so cool is that you can move your head around and look around the screen. You can't do that with these. You just have to dart your eyes around the lenses and hope you look at what you're trying to look for. Every time you move your head, the display follows you. And that is, of course, unless you use something like Nebula, which has tracking, but it's also not quite the same because your surroundings don't really track to the environment all that accurately. So I wanted to try and get a bit creative with these. What can I do with the XREAL Airs that most people wouldn't think of? Well, what are some things that need screens? Cameras need screens, they need a viewfinder. And these are basically a virtual viewfinder. What would happen if I connected a camera to the XREAL Airs? One criticism often levied to photographers, especially phone photographers, is that we spend too much time taking pictures of a moment instead of actually enjoying the moment happening in front of us. Think about it this way, if you live in the States, you've probably taken pictures of the 4th of July fireworks. You take all of these pictures and you might have even shared them somewhere, but how often do you actually find yourself looking back at them? I'd say not very often, and why is that? What makes something worth taking a photo of? After all, the entire purpose of a photo is to be looked at later. I have an answer to this question, but I'll get back to that. What I've done is replace my vision with a viewfinder. It's all I can see, a narrow frame of the outside world. There's a certain GXAce video where he showcases a fictional VR headset that uses retinal grafting, and the video showcases AI generated images as if there's ones he's taken on one of the cameras he reviews. However, the video clearly isn't meant to demonstrate or promote AI generated images. It's a work of art. The idea here is that Casey's headset is extremely old, and he uses an older technology as opposed to what he calls cerebral links. It's kind of what people do with film and digital sometimes, you know how film actually has the physical image on the film and digital is just a bunch of ones and zeros. But it's not 1998 anymore. Digital's gotten plenty of appreciation, but this returbative mindset is persistent throughout. Today's headsets have cameras that see the outside world for you, and that's relatively normal. You put on the entire headset and just leave it there. If it weren't for the battery life limitations, there's no real reason you'd have to take it off. You interact with imaginary buttons and block out the outside world, leaving it all to a user interface and what digital sensors see for you. And I don't say this to make a moral judgment of VR and AR hardware. I think this stuff is actually really cool. And besides, we don't live in a dystopian sci-fi universe that necessitates these glasses in a fundamental way, so why not make art with them instead? A photo worth taking is a photo with intention and purpose. It's not bad to take a picture of the 4th of July fireworks, but try not to make it just that. Take pictures with the people you're with, the place you're at, what made that moment so memorable, and then you'll end up with a photo that you might actually look back on sometimes. And that's what makes photos so valuable. You're watching Everland Media, out.